It was a chilly afternoon in downtown Toronto when Isabella Munro, the daughter of one of Canada's wealthiest families, stepped out of her chauffeur-driven car. Everything about her life screamed luxury: designer coats, diamond earrings, and the kind of polished smile that looked perfect in magazines. But beneath all of that, she carried something no one saw: an emptiness. Surrounded by wealth and privilege, Isabella had friends who smiled at her for her last name, not for who she was. She had every toy, every luxury, but not a single memory of laughter shared with genuine friends. As she walked across the small park to avoid the crowded street, she noticed something unusual. A group of children, their jackets mismatched and worn from use, were building a small fort out of sticks and snow. Their cheeks were red from the cold, yet their laughter filled the air like music. Isabella stopped for a moment, her heels sinking slightly in the snow. She didn't mean to stare, but she couldn't help it. They seemed so alive, so free, so different from the polished, stiff world she was used to. Then, one little girl with tangled brown hair noticed her. She whispered something to the others, and before Isabella could walk away, the girl ran up to her and asked, "Will you play with us?" The words caught Isabella completely off guard. Nobody had ever asked her that, not without expecting something in return. She looked down at her white leather gloves, at her expensive coat, and then at the child's bare hands holding a half-broken toy. For the first time in years, Isabella didn't know how to answer. Her life had been filled with galas, charity dinners, and board meetings. She didn't know how to build snow forts. She didn't know how to just play. Her driver called her name, reminding her that she was running late. She could have ignored the kids and gone back to her world. But something inside her cracked open at that moment. She smiled, knelt down, and said softly, "How do we play?" The children cheered. They handed her a snowball, laughing as they explained the rules that didn't really make sense but didn't need to. Isabella's expensive coat was soon covered in snow, her hair messy, her cheeks red from the cold. She was laughing so hard that her stomach hurt, something she hadn't felt since she was a little girl herself. For those few minutes, she wasn't a billionaire's daughter. She wasn't an image for the cameras. She was just Isabella, a young woman playing in the snow with children who didn't care who she was, only that she was there. As the sun began to set, one of the boys tugged her sleeve and whispered, "Thank you. You're the nicest rich lady we've ever met." The innocence in his voice made Isabella's eyes sting with tears. She realized how much she had missed in her life: simple moments of kindness, connection, and real human joy. When her driver came again, Isabella didn't just wave goodbye. She asked the kids where they lived. She discovered that many of them were from families struggling to make ends meet, living in small apartments nearby. That night, Isabella sat alone in her large penthouse, looking out at the city lights. For the first time, the glitter of the skyline didn't impress her. The laughter of those children echoed louder than the quiet hum of her empty life. The very next day, she returned, not in heels, but in boots and a warm coat, with bags full of mittens, snacks, and toys. She didn't announce it to the press. She didn't post it online. She simply showed up. The children's eyes lit up, and their smiles melted something inside her that money never could. From then on, Isabella began visiting often. She sponsored after-school programs, set up a small community center, and spent time sitting on the floor with the kids, coloring, reading, and laughing. She learned their names, their dreams, their struggles. And slowly, she discovered something priceless: the joy of belonging, of giving without expecting anything back. Isabella's heart had been heavy with loneliness, but those children had given her something no fortune could buy: real love. And it all began with one simple question whispered in the cold winter air: "Will you play with us?" That moment changed her life forever. It reminded her, and maybe it reminds us too, that sometimes the richest hearts are found in the simplest places. And that even in a world divided by wealth and struggle, kindness can build a bridge strong enough to melt the coldest heart. Would you like me to make this story slightly more dramatic and cinematic, so it fits perfectly into a 4-minute emotional YouTube narration style?